Hi, today quick review of Mestek MT100 clamp multimeter I received from Amazon from what seems to be a generous anonymous donator. So in fact I am quite impressed with this little device. So it comes with this pouch with English and Chinese user manual, and in fact the English part seems to be quite good. It is not English actually, so you can understand what they say, so it is not too bad. We have probes, so they are quite soft wires with a little sleeve you can remove here for having a longer contact area or just precision touch. They are cat free at 600 volts. The wire is maybe 80 centimeters long. Double insulation here, one insulation sleeve. The wire is quite soft, but it is not silicone, it is PVC. But I did test it, it is not sticking to a magnet, so at least it is a real copper inside, and not where the Chinese Chinesium, like here, for instance. Okay, so the device itself, in fact it is quite impressive in the way it is fully automatic. We will check this later. So it is quite light, just 200 grams, and in fact most of the weight must be located in the iron core here for the clamp. Quite well balanced, quite strong, and yes, there is only one button because it is a fully automatic meter that will automatically figure out what you want to do with it. So we will check the ranges. So it is either off, either on. So you can measure AC amps only with a clamp, not with banana jacks. You can measure DC voltage from 0.5 to 600 volts, AC voltage from 1 to 600, continuity tester from 0 to 30 ohms, ohmmeter up to 10 mega ohms, ampere meter up to 600 amps, which is quite impressive. Frequency meter, it will measure frequency, and either in the clamp or either of AC input here, so it is quite nice, up to 1000 Hertz, and it seems it can do combinations of two measures also. According to the user manual, you can measure a load with the voltage across a load here, and at the same time the amperage through the clamp here, and it may be able to compute the power in fact. And there is a backlight on the screen which will activate by pressing here, but it will not memorize the backlight status when you power it again. And here is a very nice function we will check later. And here is the sun also. Okay. So before we start the test, I did forget to mention the cost of this device is around 20 euros on Amazon, so it is very affordable in fact. If you consider you get the scrappy multimeters for 5 or 8 or 10 euros, and this is much better in quality and functionality, and for only 3 times the price. So the only thing you will miss on this one is probably the diode test. In fact, you do not have a diode test. But apart from this, for work in electricity, it is nice and very affordable. So I am not Dale Jones, but I will just do some quick tests of the device. If I power it on, as you can see here, in fact, yes, it takes a few seconds to initialize and it figures out there is nothing to do. If I want to measure a resistor, automatically it will measure the resistor. It works better when the plugs are totally connected. Okay, automatically it determines it is a resistor you want to measure. If you want to do continuity test, as you can see, it is automatic. If you want to measure DC volts, for instance, from a battery, it does it also by itself, in theory. Yes, here we are. And at the same time, it will show you the amperage you have through the leads. So it is loading the battery at 10 milliamps, it seems. So sometimes it is a little slow to react and find out what it must do, but eventually it will do it. Okay, and now if I want to measure AC voltage and frequency at the same time, I will, here are leads connected to my frequency generator, which I will turn on. It is 300 ohms, 300 Hertz and 350 Hertz currently on the display at maximum amplitude. So if I connect these leads, and here, what will happen? As you can see, we have 7 volts, and it will flip the measure between here and amperage and eventually a frequency. We did it previously. Yes, yeah, just 1 second. Yes, here it is, 355 Hertz and 7.4 volts. So the downside is only that you have to wait for it to show the information you want, apparently. But it is nice to have a little frequency counter, and it is matching exactly the display of my frequency generator. So this is quite neat. Okay, now we will do test with AC voltages. Okay, so here I have a transformer from the blood analyzer. So I will not measure the mains voltage because we know it is mains, and I do not want to risk anything, but at least I will test the output of this transformer. So let me turn the power on, the mains. Okay, so we will just test the clamp function here, and as you can see, it gives a measure of the frequency. Not sure if it is totally in the frame, like so, 50 Hertz, and the amperage of just 0.1 amp. But what happens if I can put the clamp on the other wire? Of course, it is the same. Okay, and there is another interesting function, but first we will test the... Let me grab again the banana jacks to measure the AC output of this transformer. Let's say between this one and this one. So it is supposed to do something. Maybe if I connect to the correct contact it will be better. Yes, we have 28 volts on this coil, and here another one. 38.8 volts. Okay, so it is a 50 volts output transformer. Interesting. So the last function I want to show you is a contactless sensor for detecting dangerous voltage in lines. So it is the same thing that this, in fact. Fluke stick to test voltage. If you have a line with, I'm not sure if it will show on camera, but a line with dangerous voltage, it will lit in red. So here we have the same thing. You have to turn it on. You have to press this button. You have to press this button. You have to press this button. Oh yeah. In fact, you keep it pressed, and if it is near a line with dangerous voltage, it will light up. You see here on the secondary side it does nothing, but on the primary here it does react. However, it looks like it reacts only on the one of the two wires. So maybe actually this is phase and this is neutral, and it will only work with one of two. It is quite interesting. I will just move it a little bit for you. Nothing here. Here it reacts, and with the mains cable here it reacts. And of course the clamp, you must do your measure for only one wire, because if you do with both wires, theoretically it is neutral, so it should measure nothing. You can see it measures no hertz, and here must be just some electromagnetic leakage from the wire, giving a current result, but in fact it does not measure the accurate thing here, because the two things will cancel each other, the phase and the neutral. Okay, so quite an interesting little device, very handy, probably most suited for electricians than electronic hobbyists, but always good to have, in particular with some interesting functions as the contactless sensing, which is always handy. So, thanks for watching, bye bye.